So what most people find is that when they don't actually check their consistency, when they sort of look back on what they've done, they'd sort of say, you know, maybe 80 to 90% of the time they did what was said and so on. But most of the time that's not actually the case, and it's nearly always the answer to why people don't get results. It's only when you really do track consistency do you basically get an answer to why potentially you haven't got the predicted results as we may expect. So please do this, even if you know. So if you do it, tick, and if you don't do it, just leave it unticked, and then we can have a look afterwards. Especially for the first 6 weeks, you'll find that you can learn a lot. Going back on the data about what potentially happened on each day, why you may not have done stuff, and then we can start to change things around and really mold things around your lifestyle, etc. So for example, you press yes, you check in, and you've moved one marble across. Okay, then like so, I'll just keep it like that for now. And then at the end, it'll show you how many yes days, how many those days when we have a look at your data here. Okay, so that's the way that we sort of track habits, the way that we track weight, etc. Now, very quickly, what I'll just show you is how to look at your schedule. So you'll see here that, say, we're starting as of yesterday. It'll say update food diary. I put 2 of these in a day just to keep you updated on what you're doing. I need to so for example, you know, obviously in the morning and then in the evening, just to give you a quick reminder. So just have a look at this, and then if you if you have updated your food diary, just maybe give it a click. It's not actually the most important thing there. I'll put your goals on a Monday just so you can have a look at what we're going to do, but I will go on to those in a minute as well. Okay, looking at your going from here, it just basically has some basic results tracking, food diary. Ignore stuff like the pie queue, that's just on there automatically for one-to-one clients, and then it basically just says some stuff like it has videos of the snack recipes, the protein recipes, etc., that you can have a look at as well. So going on to your goals and your nutrition, what you'll see is each thing will be called James Block 1, and everything basically fits within this same 6 weeks. So your nutrition fits with your goals, your program fits with your goals, and it's all based upon that periodization that I talked about right at the start. So our goals: lose sort of 0.5 to 1% of body weight a week, but because you've not yet done your assessments, which I'll show you in a minute, I think I may need to schedule that actually, and I'll put that on, schedule that in a minute. I've not got the data for that, but that's generally the easiest way to work it out from there, and generally realistic and adherable way in terms of calories. Fit into clothes better, feel trimmer, which is kind of what you said at the start. So specifically, the suits, I think you said you fit in 2018. You can use those as well. So for me, next going on to health goals, and yours is increase CV health, mine is to drop blood pressure and morning heart rate. Obviously, we don't know if we can track that just yet. Physical is to move on to more specialized block. Yours is for flexibility increase, cardio increase, etc. A habit goal, 70,000 steps a week, so that's 10,000 steps, and to complete every single workout, which is 3 a week, which I program that in it. Habit goal: be more mindful before everything, food, health, and exercise. That will help you get to your goal. So just have a think, you know, do you need to have that extra piece of bread, for example, or that extra beer? And that's basically just a habit I want you to get into. Just having a think about if it is something you want, is it something you need, is it something that's worth the end goal being slightly affected, or does it fit in? Have a reason why. So a reason why, just something to go back to when you're not feeling motivated. I find that this really helps nearly all my clients. And take a picture as well, like we discussed before. Okay, going to nutrition. So the way we generally do stuff, and as discussed in the past, is tracking somewhat. You don't have to track absolutely anally, but all I would suggest is that being mindful of calories is key. And if you can track on something like MyFitnessPal, like we talked about before, that'd be great. So calories daily, 2,000 to 2,500. So anywhere in between here. Calories weekly, 14,000 to 17,500. So it's basically, by having a range, you're much more likely to be sort of less obsessed with hitting a potential target, and also it creates more flexibility as such. And you can basically, you might have a week where you need higher calories, and that can be on the higher end, and then you can have a week where you do the opposite. A little bit about how we make it bespoke, rationale behind the nutrition, behavior state that you need to be in, and how to meet current goal as well, along with some ideas as well. But as I've mentioned, if you go onto your PDF, this is where you will find protein recipes, etc. Often on the infographics as well, you'll find that there's quite a lot of stuff on here that will answer any kind of question. Okay, quickly going back to let's just have a quick look. If you want to have a look at, often I guess you would have seen these as just some stuff that people ask questions on, and they're just videos. Going to home now, what you'll find is that you have assessments here, which is, there you go, it is programmed in. I don't think I've scheduled it, that's all. So if you can do this as soon as possible, and this is basically just a bit of a starter test, and then from here the date that we can get from that will really sort of show what we can work on to improve, etc. for next time if it does load. Here we go. So height, weight, very basic, waist girth, chest girth, blood pressure, and the Cooper test, and it'll explain what to do on each one. It'll explain what you need to do with the information and the instructions on there, or you should have them there. If not, I can tell you what to do. I definitely wrote them out, so I'm not sure where they've gone. I'm not sure where that is. Anyway, okay, moving on just to the last bit. This is your forms. So this will remind you to do this every Sunday, and if possible, if you can, they say they're all the same day, but if you go to your schedule, you go to Sunday here, it should ask you for, if it loads, to update. Oh no, it looks like I need to schedule that in. My bad, I thought I had done that already. So if you go to here, I'll put these in, as I can see there. It's because it's Tuesday is the last one. So if you go to assessments, and sorry, not assessments, forms, it'll take you through, and it will say just a few questions about how your week has gone. Now, the way that I track and the way that I keep attention, besides messaging each week, is I try and do like a weekly or bi-weekly check-in, which basically goes what you can do better, what you've been doing well, etc. And the best way to do that, obviously, is by giving me data, but also by answering these questions as well, which will help me as well. Now, most people don't do this, but what I do say is that when people do this, it's very helpful for me to really answer any questions that you might have, unless you answer them through the WhatsApp or not. Now, I think I've gone through everything on the app there. For you, the most important things are just to stay on top of your diary, your schedule. Marble test is key because it's kind of like showing everything in one, essentially. And yeah, just play around with it, have a go, set up your MyFitnessPal, and then we can really go from there. If you've got any questions, please just give me a shout, and then we can go from there. Cheers, Jen.